It is the RIOT on Radio U. This is a big morning for us, and I think for everybody, because we get to finally get introduced to a band that we played and enjoyed here on Radio U for a while. We have with us Jesse and Evan from American Arson. Jesse and Evan, introduce yourselves. Tell the people a little more about who you are.
Well, I'm Jesse. That's Evan. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see him. No, but we're a two-piece rock and roll band from Detroit called American Arson. We play very, very loud and aggressive music, and really focused on our faith and life experiences. And yeah, it's good to be here. Radio U's always been a staple for us. They've always supported us, and we're really appreciative of that. So it's good to finally get on here.
Yes, it's good to finally actually get to meet you guys. Now we played you guys for a while. I also am well familiar because we played your videos on RadioU TV, and so one of the things I wanted to ask about, we played the video for Unbreakable, going back a little bit. And something that always catches my eye in that video is that you guys clearly are huge Detroit sports fans, right? How's that? You must feel kind of spoiled right now.
Loving it on Sundays. It's great.
Yeah. Michigan football on Saturdays and the Lions on Sundays.
Who would have thought the Lions would be the cornerstone of our fandom right now? Tell me that 10 years ago, I'd be like, no way, they're the only good team in Detroit sports. But hey, we'll take it. It's been an amazing ride this year.
It makes the weekends a little bit sweeter when on Sundays, I'm a Browns fan, so my disappointment levels as Lions fans, I can relate to you guys in most years. But when they actually win on Sundays, it's a much more enjoyable experience, which I have recently found since now we have won some games prior to before. It makes the weekends a lot better that way.
I want to know if you, as a Lions fan, do you have, like, in the back of your mind, are you still thinking, oh, they'll find a way to screw it up because they have always, or are you genuinely hopeful this time?
Well, I was until I watched the Packers play last night, and oh my gosh, just the offensive ineptitude there. I mean, the Lions are going to do they're going to do the same old Lion things a few times this year, but it's not going to matter because the rest of our division is so terrible, and so
bad.
Very, very hopeful that we will see. Already. Yeah, the first division championship in 20 years, 1993. I was a young lad the last time that we won a division championship, and I think this is going to be the year. So I'm not going anything beyond that. I don't want to talk about, but division championship I think is safe to start talking about.
It's more the weight of expectation now. It's I'm not so much scared that they're going to screw it up. I'm like, I actually go into Sundays expecting them to win now, and that's weird. It's good, but it's like, oh no, now if they mess something up, like, it's not just as I expected that.
Yeah, that's the worst part, is when you actually start to get confident and you're like, oh, we could mess this up, and then when you mess it up, then the pain really sets in. Of like, we had it in the bag and now we've lost it. That's way worse than never having it at all.
Oh, absolutely.
But you guys talked about a little bit earlier, too, that it's just the two of you, so just Jesse and Evan, and you guys are a two-man band. Was there ever plans in the beginning for it to be more than just the two of you?
No, not really. I was in a band before that I had a lot of fun with, and we accomplished a lot, but it became really, really difficult to maintain the relationships, especially we were on the road. The last couple of years we were on the road like 7-8 months out of the year. And so when I started a new project, I was like, what is the least amount of people you can have in a band so you can just focus on, that maintaining that singular relationship. And if you can pull that off, then you can probably make it work. And I had started messing around with pedals, running my guitar through different amps, just trying to do something cool and different. And I know we're not the only two-piece band in the world. I know we're not the only band that splits a guitar or a bass signal to multiple amps. But once we started running with that, it kind of became part of the sound. We still don't use a bass when we record on albums. It's all the guitar pitch shifted down and the same way that we would do it live. So I think it's part of our sound now, despite the fact that we get like 57 messages a month on Instagram and Facebook and all the other stuff. At people asking us if we need a bass player. Please don't be offended. It's not that we don't want you. It's that we don't need you.
That's what Isaiah and I tell people all the time too.
Yes.
We're doing just fine without you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Now, if a saxophonist were to send us a message, we might change our mind. But
So if there's any saxophone players, we have Evan has it on his phone, but we have a saxophone rippers playlist going. That's just a bunch of songs that are like heavier music that should not have a saxophone in them, that almost always unexpectedly have this like absolute just bomb saxophone solo. So if any of you want to hit us up.
Well,
Isaiah,
the criteria to make it on the playlist is it can't be a band that has a saxophonist. It has to be unexpected. The song's going along, and then boom, saxophone comes in. So it doesn't have to be heavy, but it has to be a band that doesn't have a saxophonist in it to make it on the Saxophone Rippers playlist. So
I want to hear this.
So I guess we would be excluding ourselves if we added a saxophone.
A permanent saxophone.
You just need just a one-time saxophonist.
Yeah.
And
one time. We need a one-time saxophone.
Yes.
So if there are any disposable saxophonists out there, if you consider yourself a disposable saxophonist,
a saxophone mercenary.
Yes. And then that song's getting added to RadioU immediately. If we can get just a one-time saxophone rip, that's an automatic ad.
Well, we'll write that down for the next album.
I guess we know then you guys have a new album coming out, but the one thing we now do know is that it doesn't have any saxophone on it. But what can you tell us about the new album coming out here soon?
They're like, man, we shouldn't have had these guys on. That was all we were looking for. No, this one, exactly. This one took us about a year and a half to write and record, Evan. It was quite a journey. We had a computer that was like in our kind of personal studio space that just completely crashed right after we had finished like writing all the demos or the original demos. And we lost the entire album. So we had to start from scratch. And then we got into the studio, and we both, as you can probably tell by me sitting in my car at 9:30 a.m. on a Tuesday, this music thing isn't our full-time gig. So we both have families and full-time jobs and stuff like that. And so we just kept getting into the studio after that laptop crash kind of threw us off of our recording schedule. We would have to go in like bit part, like, hey, we can go in overnight here, go in the morning here, and record a song. And it was a trying process. It was exhausting at times. But I also think it ended up being extremely rewarding, and in some ways resulted in like the best possible music we could have put out, because we got to spend a lot more time with the songs than we normally do in the recording process. So yeah, I don't know if Evan has anything to add, but I'm pumped on it. There's something for everyone. There's some catchy choruses, and there's some absolutely brutal, heavier stuff on there too. So
something for everybody except saxophone fans.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we let you guys down, but we've got you in the back of our mind for the future. So
I like it.
Yeah, but what we've heard from the new album, the new music, we're loving it. We've got the new song "Run" we're gonna play here, and man, it's been great to actually get to know you guys, Jesse and Evan from American Arson. I wish I could say "Go Lions." I can't bring myself to do that, but we're rooting for you guys and your music.
Thank you so much.
You have a blue hat on. You're already halfway there.
So just so you guys know, Hudson
is that a Buffalo Sabres hat?
It is.
He's a diehard Packers fan, though, which you guys did know before the interview, which made it way better.
But
I'm sorry.
We forgive you.
For me, I loved it.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.